Imagine you have been waiting for years. You filed all the right paperwork. You paid the fees. You followed every single rule. And then one day, without any warning, you log into the USCIS portal and your interview is gone. Just like that. No letter, no explanation, no timeline, just silence. That is the reality thousands of families are waking up to right now across the United States. And today, we are going to break down exactly what is happening, who is affected, why the Trump administration made this move, and most importantly, what you need to do if you or someone you love is caught in the middle of this. Stay with me until the very end of this video because there is critical information here that could directly affect your green card case, your family petition, or your path to citizenship. So let us start from the beginning and lay the groundwork so everyone fully understands what we are talking about. The Trump administration has directed U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, commonly known as USCIS, to suspend processing for select family-based green card categories. This is not a rumor. This is not speculation. This is confirmed official policy that has already begun affecting real people in real ways all across the country. Now, to understand the full scope of this, you need to understand a little bit about how the green card process works. When a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident wants to bring a family member to the United States permanently, they file what is called a family-based immigration petition. These petitions fall into different categories depending on the relationship. There are immediate relatives such as spouses and children of U.S. citizens. And then there are what are called preference categories, which include adult children, siblings, and spouses of green card holders. These preference categories have annual caps and can involve waiting periods that stretch years, sometimes even decades. The processing of these petitions involves multiple steps. First, a petition is approved. Then, a visa number has to become available. Then, the applicant files for what is called adjustment of status, which is the official process of converting to lawful permanent resident status here inside the United States. That final step, the adjustment of status, is exactly where the current suspension is hitting hardest. In March 2025, it was confirmed through DHS sources that USCIS had quietly directed its officers to suspend the finalization of certain adjustment of status applications. The Department of Homeland Security officially confirmed the pause, stating that USCIS is placing a temporary hold on finalizing certain applications pending the completion of additional screening and vetting to identify potential fraud, public safety, or national security concerns. This was described as being in alignment with executive orders signed by President Trump at the start of his second term. Then things escalated significantly. On December 2, 2025, USCIS issued a formal policy memo that expanded the scope dramatically. The memo directed the agency to halt the processing of immigration benefits for nationals of 19 countries that had been placed on a travel ban list through a presidential proclamation signed on June 4, 2025. These countries include Afghanistan, Myanmar, Chad, the Republic of Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Yemen, Burundi, Cuba, Laos, Sierra Leone, Togo, Turkmenistan, and Venezuela. This was a sweeping move. The December 2nd memo did not just pause new applications. It suspended the processing of all pending applications from nationals of these countries. And it also directed USCIS to re-review and potentially re-enter people whose applications had already been approved. Let that sink in for a moment. Even if USCIS had already said yes to your case, the administration is now going back and looking at those approvals again, and it did not stop there. Just weeks later, on December 16, 2025, the travel ban was expanded to include an additional 20 countries. And by January 1, 2026, the pause on immigration applications had been extended to cover all 39 countries, now listed in what is being called the Expanded Travel and Immigration Ban. The policy is evolving rapidly, and it is reaching deeper and deeper into legal immigration channels. Now, you might be wondering who exactly is affected by this. The answer is millions of people. According to immigration statistics, approximately 4.3 million individuals currently living in the United States originally came from one of the 19 initially impacted countries. That represents about 9% of the total U.S. immigrant population. These are not new arrivals or undocumented people. These are individuals who have built their lives here. They have families. They have jobs. They have been following the legal process faithfully for years. Some are long-term green card holders who are planning to apply for citizenship. Others have family members waiting for their petitions to move forward. Many are caught right in the middle of a process that has now been frozen indefinitely. The categories that are being impacted include family-based green card applications filed through adjustment of status, naturalization petitions, applications for asylum benefits, employment-based applications, and various discretionary immigration benefits for those from the affected countries. All of these are now on hold. USCIS has said it will not adjudicate these cases until additional vetting is completed, and no clear timeline has been provided for when that vetting will be finished. What is happening on the ground right now is deeply disruptive. Hundreds of people are reporting that their scheduled USCIS interviews have been canceled without any notice. Some applicants traveled to USCIS field offices only to be turned away at the door. Others who were already invited to citizenship oath ceremonies found that their ceremonies were suddenly removed from the calendar with no explanation. Many people are checking their USCIS online accounts daily, only to find that appointments have disappeared entirely from their portals. Immigration attorneys across the country say the cancellations started hitting all at once and appear to be widespread. Lawyers are reporting that clients who had been waiting years and were just steps away from finalizing their permanent residency are now back at square one or worse in limbo with no path forward in sight. Now, let us talk about the administration's stated reasoning for all of this. The DHS spokesperson described the pause as necessary to ensure the safety of the American people and to conduct what the administration is calling maximum vetting. Officials have pointed to national security concerns, potential fraud in the immigration system, and what they describe as inadequate vetting procedures carried out during the Biden administration. President Trump signed an executive order at the start of his second term mandating enhanced vetting procedures for anyone seeking immigration benefits. The pause on green card and family-based petition processing is described as the mechanism to carry out that mandate. Officials have also referenced a specific incident as a catalyst. After an Afghan national was arrested in connection with the shooting of 2 National Guard members in Washington, the Trump administration cited the case as justification for broadening immigration restrictions. Senior officials used the incident to call for comprehensive rescreening of people who had entered the country from certain nations. USCIS Director Joseph Edlow has been vocal about repositioning the agency. During his Senate confirmation, Edlow stated that USCIS must be an immigration enforcement agency at its core. The agency has announced the creation of a new vetting center in Atlanta, specifically designed to conduct interviews and re-review previously approved immigration cases. Edlow has also launched a hiring initiative to bring on what the agency is calling Homeland Defenders, officers with arrest authority who will be stationed within USCIS operations. Critics of the policy, including immigration attorneys and advocacy organizations, argue that these moves go far beyond what is legally appropriate and that the administration is using national security language to dismantle legal immigration pathways that Congress created. The American Immigration Council and the American Immigration Lawyers Association have filed Freedom of Information Act requests to obtain internal documents about the suspension and how it is being implemented. Legal challenges are ongoing. There are also serious concerns about the financial impact on USCIS itself. The agency is largely fee-funded, meaning it depends on application fees to pay for its staff and operations. If USCIS is not processing applications, it is not collecting fees, and that means it has less money to maintain its workforce. An immigration attorney noted that in Trump's first term, USCIS slowed down processing significantly by demanding perfection on every form, and the slowdown created financial strain within the agency itself. That cycle appears to be repeating on a much larger scale. Now, for family-based cases specifically, the impact is profound. Couples in marriage-based processes are being advised by attorneys not to make any time-sensitive travel plans or finalize wedding arrangements tied to immigration timelines because those timelines are now completely unpredictable. Families who filed petitions for siblings or adult children who have been waiting in line for years are being told to expect indefinite additional delays on top of the years they have already waited for applicants from outside the 39 travel ban countries. The picture is more complicated. The broader green card processing pause that began in March 2025 and was linked to the January executive order on enhanced vetting affects a wider range of applicants regardless of nationality. Overall, USCIS currently has approximately 11 million pending cases across every form of immigration benefit. The scale of the backlog is enormous, and immigration experts warned that the disruptions from the current pauses will take years to clear even after processing resumes. Here is what you need to know practically if you or your family are navigating this situation right now. First, continue checking your case status every single day through the official USCIS portal. Do not assume that no news is good news. Second, save every notice, confirmation letter, and appointment acknowledgement you have ever received from USCIS. If your interview was canceled, that original confirmation could be important when processing eventually resumes. Third, do not let your immigration documents expire without filing renewals as early as possible. Automatic extensions are no longer being offered as a protection, so timing matters more than ever. Fourth, if you are from one of the 39 countries on the ban list and you currently hold a green card, immigration attorneys are strongly advising against international travel at this time. Even green card holders are being told to avoid leaving the country until the situation becomes clearer. Fifth, consult a qualified immigration attorney about your specific case. Every situation is different and the laws are changing rapidly. You need personalized guidance from a professional who is tracking these developments in real time. One important technical note for anyone who is in the middle of the process right now: the December SEC memo does not bar you from filing applications. It only instructs USCIS not to adjudicate them. What that means practically is that if your current status is expiring, you should still file your extension or change of status application on time. Filing creates a record and may offer some level of protection depending on how the policy evolves, but you should expect that adjudication will be significantly delayed. The humanitarian consequences of these policies are already being felt widely. Asylum seekers from many of the 19 affected countries fled war, political persecution, and extreme danger in their home countries. Stopping all processing creates a backlog that refugee advocates warn could take years to work through. For families who have already been waiting and who believed they were close to finally being together in safety, the current situation feels devastating. The bottom line is this: the Trump administration has made a deliberate decision to slow and in many cases stop the processing of legal immigration applications, including family-based green card categories, in the name of national security and enhanced vetting. Millions of people who followed every rule and every procedure are now caught in an indefinite pause with no clear timeline for resolution. Whether you agree or disagree with the policy direction, the practical impact on real families is immediate and significant. This is a situation that is still unfolding. New memos, new executive orders, new court challenges, and new policy updates are coming regularly. That is exactly why staying informed is not optional right now. It is essential. If this video helped you understand what is happening, do me one favor. Share it with someone who needs to see it. There are families out there who do not know their case has been frozen. There are people making plans based on timelines that no longer exist. Share this information because it matters. And if you want to stay up to date on every major development in U.S. visa and immigration policy, make sure you subscribe to USA Visa Updates. Hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and stay connected. Because in an environment where the rules are changing this fast, you need a channel you can trust to keep you informed every single step of the way. Subscribe to USA Visa Updates. We will keep watching so you are never caught off guard.